Hey, it's Lauren on the purple carpet with PT.
The purple carpet, I came dressed appropriately.
You're matching, you're matching. What first got you into surfing?
Well, I grew up in a beach town. I grew up in this town called Coolangatta in Australia on the Gold Coast, and my parents were beach people. You know, like we owned actually the Coolangatta Hotel, a really famous hotel on the beach in the war years, and that's how my dad met my mum. And so from pretty much the time I was able to walk, I was down at the beach.
Who or what was your inspiration?
I think just surfing, you know, I was born in the 50s, but I was growing up in the 60s, and that was when surfing was just starting to boom the first time. And so everybody kind of wanted to go surfing, just like the Beach Boys sang, and we were even getting affected by that in Australia. And we had two world champions in the old school world championships in that first era. It was Midget Farrelly. He won the first one, and then Nat Young won the one in California. And so we kind of were inspired, well, gee, you can be a world champion in surfing. And that all drove us to be surfers and get into competition.
Tell me about some of your victorious moments.
My victorious moments, well, I mean, the ultimate pinnacle for me was I was declared the first world professional champion, you know, in 1976.
Wow.
So for me, that is very victorious, because at the other end of that scale is Kelly Slater's name. You know, probably the greatest surfer of all time. He's won 9 world championships, but my name's first on the list. So I'm on there with him where he's on 9 times. So probably from a victorious point of view, that's the most important. But the other one that really, like, to me, I really remember is I won this event in Durban, South Africa. And it was against one of my peers, Rain Rabbit Bartholomew, and we had grown up together. And it came down that we were in the finals of a World Championship Tour event at perfect 6-foot barreling waves like we grew up in, and I beat him.
Wow.
Well, he was the defending world champ, and I had been the world champ, you know, like 4 years before that. And so he was the current flavor, and I was kind of the old guard. And so to me, that was really victorious.
What is your favorite surfing destination?
My favorite surfing destination, I would have to say, was my home, you know, like where I grew up, Coolangatta, which today is known more like the Superbank. It's known more as the Superbank, which everybody knows. But back in my time, it was a break called Kira, which is not the same as it was back then because there's too much sand, which created the Superbank.
Yeah.
But if you want to go back in time, Kira was better.
A lot of great memories spent there. Huh?
Yeah. I mean, I'm old now, so you have a long body of work on which to consider.
Any plans for the future?
Yeah, to move back to Australia. You know, I've been living in Huntington Beach for 30 plus years, and people go, how the hell can you live in Huntington Beach when you came from Coolangatta? And I go, it's all relative. I still have an Australian passport, and I know it's there. And knowing it's there, it's about time to go home to the warm water. My old bones don't like the wetsuits, you know, so I'm on a mission to go back to Coolangatta for good. You know, if you grow up in the tropics, which I did, you always remember that, you know, and so I want to return to the roots of warm water and trunks and girls in bikinis, you know.
Sounds good to me. So tell me about your affiliation with Victory.
Well, it's funny, I go way back with this brand, Victory, in that I was their ad sales rep when the brand was really came to be in America in the late 70s and 80s. I was working for Surfing Magazine, and I was the ad director, and so I was selling Mark and his partners advertising for Victory back in the days when it was focused on the wetsuit, you know, part of the company. And then more recently, Mark got back. I see Mark all the time. He plays volleyball on the beach at Huntington, and one day he said, "Hey, listen, I've got this new fabric, core dry. Why don't you come around and talk to me about it? I can't make up my mind what I want to do with it." And so we got together and talked about it, and I said, well, you know, this is a really innovative product, so we should do something with it. And that's how we developed the whole Victory Core Dry and the Troposkin and the base layer, and now we're doing the Voodies. So, you know,
it's really gone somewhere.
It's going somewhere. It's going somewhere, you know. It just like building any brand, or, you know, bringing back a great trademark, it just takes time. It doesn't resonate overnight. It takes time.
Yes, everything does. So tell me about Busting Down the Door.
Well, Busting Down the Door is based on one of my, you know, boyhood friends, Rabbit's autobiography, and a story that he wrote in Surfer Magazine that I was actually on the cover of the issue that he wrote that story in. busting down the door. And Sean Thompson decided he wanted to make this film about the impact that we had on professional surfing and surfing in the 70s. And so Sean, picked 5 of his peers, me being one of them, Ian Cairns, his cousin Michael Thompson, Rabbit, and Mark Richards. And we were all interviewed in separate times about that time. And I think what's the most interesting part about all that, we didn't all know who was being interviewed, but we all ended up telling the same story. So that kind of even made it more impactful because it really made it feel like, this is genuine.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the purple carpet.
On the victorious purple carpet.
The victorious purple carpet.